components. So in Angular material components, there is a called icons. So icon, I am going to use this API. So same icons, that is import mat icon module. This I need to use. So I've used it. Already I've just copy pasted that. You go to this manage users module, mat icon module. I copy pasted that over here, and that mat icon module I've used underneath imports. So this is because it's a separate project by itself and we require that to be used in this module. So we are matching that icon module and then loading that. Once this is loaded, now I come back to my HTML. So this icons, what are all the name of the icons, etc. you can get from this Google. This is same Google material icons. Simple to use. So material icons, and it's a fonts.google.com. It's not like a PNG or anything. It is purely a icons or fonts, icon fonts. They call it as icon fonts. Somehow my system is slow. It looks like. So icons are there. I can use any of the name here, search, home. So if I click on this, the right hand side, you'll get the actual name. You'll get the actual name that we can use. Home, HOME, home is a small letter. So small letter homes is what we need to use, right? So I can use this home. So in that way, so for edit everything, so I just go for edit icons. You can see here, edit. So if I use here, right hand side, you can see edit, small e, edit. Another is delete function. These two are what I want to use. Delete this one, the left hand side last one. So if I click on it, delete. So this is what I want to use it here. So first is binding icon module to the project. So that we have already done. So binding the icon module to that module where you want to use the icon. In this icon module, I have already added. So it is part of Angular material icon. Then go to the HTML. In where there is a delete and edit. So this is the place where you have a delete and edit. So inside this TD, I put mat icon. You can take the syntax from here as well. You can take the syntax from Angular icon, examples or overview. You can take the help from here also. So a mat icon is the attribute or tag that we need to use, and then icon home, font icon home, or directly I can give it as a home here. So any of this. So mat icon edit. The edit is the within the tag I given, E has to be a small letter. So what is the color? Color it supports primary. Color I make it as primary. And I just copy this. Oh, I'm sorry. It is a delete now. Delete. Instead of primary, I make it as one, red color. So I copy paste the same thing that I've copied now. So that is edit is the primary. So I've added an icon for no other changes anywhere required. No changes to the etc. No changes here. Only thing I just want the HTML. For that I need to add the module. I've added the module and then I just put mat icon one delete. That's all. Once I do this, save all. Go back to your web page. Loaded. You can see now the icons are appearing here. So now this icon, I want to show it as a hand symbol, like mouse over, because it doesn't know that it is editable candidate or clickable candidate. So I want to use the mouse over. So I can use style, cursor pointer. So cursor pointer is the one which gives you the hand symbol. I want this for delete and warning. I can do this. Delete and warning, I can use the cursor. Make sure the quotation starting, ending, all that, you just make sure when you are doing a cut and paste, all these are proper. Now, as soon as it gets loaded, you can see now hand symbol is coming. So you know that it is editable. That means it is clickable. So this is the current trend that you show that icon as a differently. So I showed that icon as a different icon. So in this now, I need to now do the click event. So before I do that, I come to the delete event first. So I want to click on delete so that this record I want to delete. So ABC2, ABC1, ABC2, something is there. I just want to delete it. So delete means I have to create a function. So how to do that? Again, come here, create a function, asynchronous, delete user. What is that you want to pass? I need actually ID. So I just say element, delete user, element. Element can be any for time being. Any. Then I want to call this. Already I have, I think, edit HTTP service. I think, I don't know whether we have already made the delete or not. Delete is not there. That means I have to come from the TS server. Code behind TS server. This is my service. I need to call a editable here, right? So before I do that, I want to now come to the DB level. So delete user. I need to create first asynchronous delete user. So ID is the one that I want to use. It is numeric number constant query text equals delete from table users. So I all the syntax I use a capital letter. Table names I use the small letters, where ID equals right $1. $1 is the parameter. Then constant query param within array ID. ID is an input now. Then I need to call the return statement. I need to call the return statement, make it as delete user. Delete user, query text, and query param. Query param. Param is $1. That $1 is passed through ID. So query param, query text, query param, delete user. So this is one method. I need to have come to the controller. Same name I'll use. Controller. I'll put it here. Copy paste. Easiest thing to do here is copy paste. That's why we are keeping the syntax almost same, so that easy to code. Delete user, delete user. Here I call it as a param or ID. I just pass ID here. Number, delete user ID. I just pass the ID and then deleted result. If it is success, is it all done? If it is not success, if there is a connection error, I am calling the DB connection so that it will continuously try to connect to the DB. As soon as it is connected, it will start work. So DB delete user is the method. This I need to push it to the routing. Routing. So in this routing, it is not a get, it is a post, because I need an ID. So delete user, copy paste. Copy paste. So instead of login, I delete user, request.body, request.body.id. Request.body means it is the entire param. So I want ID to be passed. So ID is the one I want to pass it from the end user. So that ID, I want to use it here. Make sure you have a console log so that you know in case if there is a mistake here in the syntax, you will come to know from here. Okay. So please note, I have not used try catch here. In case this ID is undefined, body is undefined, this will create a exception. That exception is not handled now. So you can, if you feel that the data can be a wrong, so that you don't want to crash the system, you can ensure that it is manageable. So those things meticulously you need to follow, even though in some cases I missed out because there are two dots now. One dot means I'm not much bothered because if it is undefined, I'll pass it as an undefined. But two dots, ID of undefined, it will give a crash. So ID of undefined is not generally allowed, right? So better you put a try catch because there is a possibility, iota of possibility is there that system may not. So I just call return directly res dot status say 200. I'll pass it as 200. Then only I want to pass it as a message. So JSON success true. Sorry, success false. Message e dot message. That's all. E dot message. I just pass it on. So when we are dealing, you have to be careful on how you pass the message, etc., etc. So I just pass that message. So now backend side, we have made it ready up to delete user. Now I have to connect the auth service. That means I'm coming to the front end. Auth service, I want to, that means HTTP service. HTTP service need to match. So that is delete user. It is again a post. So it is not a get. So copy the post event. Post means you need to pass the parameter. Delete user. Name, same name. Same name. Data is getting passed. This is nothing but request.body. So data is getting passed, delete user. This I need to map it to the UI. That is manage user TS file. This is where that service needs to be called. So first is I need to take the element. So param, let param equals quotation ID colon, right? Element dot ID. This is what I want to pass as a parameter. Then let result equals await this dot http dot delete user within bracket data. Now I'm giving the param as a data. Please note I'm not giving an ID as a variable because I want to pass the JSON content. So I'm passing the JSON content. There are a lot of advantages while you pass the JSON content. There are a lot of advantages, right? So because of security and other stuff, there are a lot of advantages when you are passing it through JSON. Okay. Okay. Now, param if same thing result dot success result dot success. If it is good, result is true. I want to now get this list again. If result dot success, I return back, right? Return back to get non-user list because after deletion, I need to ensure that I get back this. Else, I just say console log for time being. So could not delete the user. Could not delete the user. I'm just putting a message. Later we'll see how to put it as a message box, etc. So user list we have got delete user is purely a backend section. So it's a backend command. Deleting the user that needs to be removed from the UI. So how to remove from the UI? I'm calling the user list again so that the page will get refreshed and you will see that user collection will have one row less. So make sure that that has been organized in this way. So now we have a delete user command ready. Okay, so only the additional thing is the param that I have added. Just to copy paste to you, I'm just making sure the number of lines are less so that the copy paste becomes simpler. Otherwise, I'm not able to send all the lines in the chat. So, but it is not a readable thing. I'm just making sure I copy paste it. Okay. Now let us see whether it works perfectly as we expect. So select all, save all, so that all the components that we have created, everything is saved now. HTML is saved, TS server files are saved, everything. Make sure the compilation is, there is no problem with the compilation. So there is no problem with the compilation, everything is fine. Now come to the UI. In UI, FS project, you have now full name, delete. Before generally you do the delete, you generally take one confirmation message. So let conf equal to confirm. Are you sure you want to delete this user? Right? Instead of this, I want to do a parameterization. I can do it like this as well. Instead of I just use the tilde symbol. Instead of this, I want to give the name dollar element dot name. I can give it like this. Delete user with that name. Right? You can do like this as well. So if confirmation is okay, if confirm is true, you execute this below line. Else, I don't have to do anything. I just return back. That's all. So this will open a pop-up window, dialog, and it will ask your confirmation. If the confirmation is given, you proceed. If confirmation is not given, you don't proceed. So that is also possible. Any delete for that matter, we need to take confirmation. Any important activity which will might have a impact. So if I click on delete now, oh, I need to click event. I need to pass the click event here, right? So TD, so mat icon, in that TD, I want to click event. Click on click, what you want to do? I want to pass this element. Element is what I have it here. The entire element I'm passing it here to delete user command. So click event, on click, this will call this function. That function is available here. So he is having element. That element is coming from the HTML, and from element I'm on this. So save all. Now if I save it, I hope recompilation is done. Yeah, it is done. If I click on it, I'll get a pop-up. Are you sure you want to delete user hello? Right? That hello is the name of that user. Hello is the full name of the user. So hello, okay, if you give, it will delete. If I cancel it, nothing will happen. So if I click again, okay, I'll give. So it deletes now and it refreshes the page. It deletes and refreshes the page. So now you can see that physically that row has got deleted, removed, because actually I have not removed it from the UI. I retrieved the data from the DB again. That means the DB it has got removed. There is no error message. If there is an error message, that line might not got removed because physically you are removing from the. That is how the code looks like. Your DB code. When you go to the DB code of TS server model, so you are actually removing the user. Delete from users where ID equal to $1. So now I pass this ID through this. So this is how you delete functionality is done. Next one is edit. Edit backend is simple. How you want to edit the line is a very critical thing. What content you want to edit, you have to be very careful. You cannot edit everything. So when you are editing what you need to do, that is also you have to be very careful. So now we'll just make the edit now. What is the possibility of the edit? What you want to edit? What are all you can allow them to edit? So that decision you have to take. Can I edit created on? No, you cannot edit. Can I create ID? No, you cannot edit. Can I edit full name? Yes, you can edit. Can I edit email? It's a question that is very difficult to answer. Email, whether you want to allow it or you don't want to allow it. Right? There are multiple, in our case, we can allow, provided you maintain there is no duplicate. Somebody else has not used that email, you have to ensure. Because for us, the primary key is email. First name, full name, anybody can edit. There is no issue. Whereas email, whether you want to allow him to edit or not, if you are allowing him to edit, the most important thing is you need to ensure there is no duplicate email. There is no email already exists when you are updating it. So that you have to be very careful. So first is uniqueness has to be maintained. In our table structure, we need to ensure that there is a uniqueness. I'll just go to Putty. I'll just check whether we have created a uniqueness for that table. So I'll just go to, yeah, I'll go to upskill. That is connected. Select. I'll just want the table structures, the users. In this, I know whether there is a unique key created or not. You can see unique constraint is there. That means email cannot be duplicated. I don't have to then worry about. So it will get duplicate constraint. It will say when I try to insert the same data, it will not allow me to save the same data. So that is in that way I'm safe. Unique email cannot be duplicated. So I'm allowing to edit. I can allow them to edit. At the same time, system will ensure that there is no uniqueness failure. That's okay. Perfect. Now, having said that, how do we integrate now? So I can only edit first name, last name, that means name or email. So I can create a edit here. I can create a synchronous edit user. Again, ID. ID is the base for me. Without ID, I cannot edit a user. Constant query text. So update table name, set email $1, comma name $2, where ID equals $3. So there are three parameters I need to give. So instead now, param, I'll just give a param as any. Any param, I'll give it as a input. Next is query param. Within quotes, param.id, that is the first param, email, sorry, param.email, that is the first param. Param2 name, param.name is the second param. Param.id is my third param. You cannot change the sequence because the ID, where ID equal to $3, that means it's a third param. Copy paste the above return. Copy paste. I can just say copy this edit user, paste it here. Job is done. Now I have to add it to the controller. Very simple, copy paste only. So controller, I go to the controller, common user controller. I put it here, edit user, copy paste this delete user. Identical to that. Only thing I need to change is the name. Edit user, edit user. Instead of ID now, I treat it as a param any. That input parameter. Param any. So here also I pass it that entire param. And it is edit user. Please remember it is an edit user, not a delete user. It's an edit user, not delete user. Edit user. So controller side is also ready. Now routing side. Routing. So route. Open the route API. So edit user. Route. Copy paste the route. Copy this edit user. Put it everywhere. Edit user. Edit user. Here it is request.body. The entire body we are passing because that is our param. So here it is edit user. User control edit user. So edit user, that means the entire param is getting passed. There are three values: email, name, and ID. This is the three values of the parameter. So I'm passing. So now backend is ready now. Now I have to come to the front end. First is HTTP service. That is where the routing takes place. So HTTP service, come to the HTTP service, create edit user. It is also a post method. So copy the post method, edit user, data is being passed. So this data, where it is coming from? It is coming from HTML, manage user. So manage user, HTML, HTML TS file. In TS file, I need to pass the edit user. I can copy paste. That's the easiest thing. Edit user. And element, yes, I want, but I don't want this confirmation now. I don't need a confirmation. What I need is element.id, name, element.name, then email, colon, element.email. This is what I want to pass it. Then edit user, call the edit user. So now back that UI side is also done. After, if it is success, I want to again get the fresh list so that the updated emails and addresses are reflected in the UI. It is easy to do. Now the question comes is, this is where the time it will take. How do I want to edit? How do I edit? Is it inline edit or is it different? Is it an inline edit or are you going to give differently? How do we manage this? So how do I pass this edited value to this script is what is very important. There are multiple ways it can be done. One, I can open a dialog box because in that way we learn the new component called dialog. I can open a dialog module and then give this editable, only the editable component, give them the editable component so that they can edit it, and then you can check with the update. So console log, I'll say result.message. Okay. It is not could not delete. I just put result.message. The actual message you will get it here. In case if I am not able to delete, edit, update. Basically, I am updating here. So result.message is one. So I can do it in that way. Otherwise, I can do an inline edit. Inline edit is there are multiple concepts in. If I click on edit, I'll make this as editable. That means input box. I make it as input box. I change this as a save icon. Once I click on the save icon, then I can edit it. For time being, we can do it with save icon, that is inline edit. Later, we can see how to open the dialog. So we can do with edit. If I do edit, I want to make it as an inline input box, right? And then this icon should be changed to save icon. How to do that? Easiest way to do that is I keep here, keep constructor, I open. So there are multiple rows I am in. So I have to be very careful on which row I am editing the record. So which row I am editing the record, I have to be very careful. So that the row I am editing, only in that row I should show the edit icon, not everywhere. Right? So that you have to be very careful on which item you are editing. So for that, I'll just say is on edit mode, right? Edit mode, I call it as an array, empty array. I call it as an empty array. So in that, I make it as true or false. So I'll just go here. By default, there are multiple ways I can do it. I'll do it in this way, easiest way. So user collection, you might have learned about mapping, right? So I'll use that now. Result dot, before I map it to the system, result dot rows dot map row icon, right? Row of any. This is the syntax of row of any. So row of edit mode. By default, I make it as false. How slowly the complication rises, you can just imagine. I want to, because I am dealing with anyway individual row. So in that row, if I'm just creating one additional column, edit mode is default is false. That means by default it is false. Otherwise, I have to create a variable. That variable has to be an array, and so on and so on. Now I can check on that element. If this element is editable, then I can show it as an input box or normal, whatever. So that is easy to do. So this, the way you think, it is purely your decision, the way you want to implement. But runtime, I can add this. I don't have any problem in adding that as part of the HTML or this one. In HTML, what we need to do is, I don't do anything. What I do is, in case on this click event, what I want to do, click equals, right, element of edit mode equal to true. Now I am not calling a function. Please remember. On click, I am making the element of edit mode equal to true. Or I can call it as toggle. I can use the toggle also. That means toggle means whatever is there inside, you make opposite of it. Whatever inside if it is true, you make it as false. If it is false, you make it as true. So here in icon, I can use NTF, right? The element of edit mode. If it is true, if it is false, you show this line. If it is true, copy this. If it is true, remove this line. You show it as save mode. I use the icon save. I think save icon is same. I'll just check here. Material icon, save. Save icon. This is the save icon. So this save icon will get displayed here. Okay. So save icon, I'm using it. I want to give a different color, primary accent. I give an accent color for this. So once I click again, then again it will come here, right? Click event, always the div it will come. So it will toggle this. I also make, right? I can call this also function. Right now I'm not calling the function. Let us only first worry about making it true or false so that it will toggle. Once you know how this toggle works, then you will understand it easily, the subsequent coding. So what I did was I created a edit mode for each line, because please note, I'm editing each line. Each line I'm editing. While I'm editing each line, I have to be careful which line I'm editing. I should not edit some other line and then show. And when I click on edit, I don't want to show everybody in edit mode. No, that is not the right way. Only that line should show it in the edit mode. That is why we did it first. Edit mode equal to false. So I'm setting that edit mode is false for that particular row, entire row. Because I'm adding to all the list values, I'm adding this. This is not coming from the DB, it is my internal. So this function I'm yet to cover. So once I click, what I did was I changed toggle date, toggle the value, so that edit mode, if it is true, it becomes false. If it is false, it becomes true. And if it is true, you show the save mode. If it is false, you show the edit mode. So when I click on it, it will toggle it. So this edit and save icon interchanges. We'll see that now. I saved it now. It is getting listed. Make sure there is no error. There is no error. Yeah, everything is fine, but unfortunately it's not got refreshed. It has come now. So now I'm going to click on edit the last line. I'm click on edit. Now you can see save. It has gone to change to save. When I click on save, it has gone to edit. So without any UI or any change, I'm able to replace the content. I'm able to replace the image, right? So toggle, I'm just clicking on that. It is toggling because it is changing its position, true to false, false to true, etc. How to do this edit, we'll see tomorrow. How to do this editing that name. How do I make that input inline edit? First we'll learn about inline edit. So when I click on this edit icon, I should now see an input box here so that user can edit. These two fields only should become an input box. This is not allowed to change. ID is not allowed to change. None of the else is allowed to change. They can only change hello and email. We see that tomorrow. Okay. Any questions? You can feel free to ask. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Tomorrow we'll take up the how that inline edit. How do I make that inline edit effective? That I'll. Okay, no questions. Okay, I will close my recording. Thank you. Bye. Karthik.